What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with another review for Love and Marriage Detroit, you guys. This is season one, episode seven. Episode is titled Reconnecting and Disconnecting, you guys. Now, before we jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Love and Marriage Detroit. It is so funny that YouTube literally demonetizes me as soon as I start speaking. Like I can't even utter a word without getting demonetized, but it is what it is. So, um, Love and Marriage Detroit. I have to say right here, right now, that this is gonna be the last review that I do for this show because for me, this show just doesn't give me anything. I've really tried for the last 7 weeks with this show. It started out pretty decently, but now it's really stupid to me. I don't get the drama. None of the people are likable. I don't like Anthony. I don't like his wife, the mute, Dr. Latoya. I don't like Kobe. I don't like Russell. I don't like Brandon, and I don't like Christina. I don't like anybody. None of them are likable to me. None of them are likable personalities for me. But I will say though, when it comes down to the season so far, I have to be on Brandon and Christina's side because it just feels like Dr. Latoya, she's choosing to have an issue with Christina, with Kobe. Kobe chooses to have an issue with Christina, and she chooses like it's just stupid. So this episode, it opened up where the last one ended with Christina and Kobe having that conversation, and Kobe screaming at Christina with that screechy, high pitched voice, and I'm just like, oh my god. So, like I said last week, I do get, where Kobe is coming from about, Christina reaching out to Russell, right? I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You don't want her calling your husband, and that's fine. Nothing. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't understand where she's coming from. But I felt like she was doing the most because it was almost if you were telling Christina, if you call my husband again, it sounded like she wanted to fight the girl, and I'm just like, ma'am, it's not that deep. Huh. So Christina eventually apologizes to Kobe for the comments that Brandon made, the Kobe cat comment. And let's just keep it a buck and be real about that Kobe cat comment. That comment was just not that deep. It never should have gone to the point where it got with Kobe and Christina or Russell and Brandon. It was a childish little comment that could have easily been just ignored. Like, just come on. I don't even really feel like talking about this. I'm a little frustrated. I'm frustrated with this show, but I'm also frustrated with YouTube because I have my last three lives. Actually, every live that I do, they flag them as soon as I start talking. YouTube flags my lives every time, and I don't know what to do about that because they always sit here and say it's ad suitability, but I have not cursed at all in this live. I have not said one curse word, so I got to sit here and go through have to sit here and go through a review process, which is so insanely stupid to me. And then I'm doing it behind a show that I don't even care about at this point. Like, what the hell, man? But let's get into it. Let's talk. Let's keep talking. But Kobe eventually talked to she eventually took accountability for what's going on between her and Christina as well. Now I want to say this about Kobe because Kobe kept sitting there screaming at Christina. But just because you scream and yell, that doesn't make you right. That doesn't get your point. Like you're not getting your point across, and it doesn't make you right. It just makes you the loudest person in the conversation, and that's all that it was happening was that she was just being insanely loud, and it's just like, lady, chill out and calm down. Like I just did not get it. So Christina invited Colby to this shut up and pray, I believe that's what she called it, brunch that she's having. I was like, oh, a brunch. Sounds like Letitia Pearson from Bell Collective. I'm like, so I guess we can expect some drama to happen at this whole brunch situation. So we'll see it as we get to it. So then the next thing we see is so we see Anthony. So Anthony is doing a photo shoot for a lookbook, and I was like, wait a minute, what does this man do? Because when we first were introduced to him, he talked about he went to Atlanta for Marvel and Disney, right? Marvel and Disney are two different companies. When I just think about that, I know that Disney sent stuff to Marvel sent stuff to Disney, but they're not the same. Well, yes, Marvel, DC, Marvel, and Disney. I don't know. It is what it is, right? But I just have the question of what does Anthony do for a living? Because he goes from he seems like a jack of all trades and a master of nothing at this point, right? So Anthony sat down with Dr. Latoya and he was telling her how things went at Russell's Bible study, right? And he was telling her how he and Brandon had gotten into it with each other, and I was like, oh my god, it's just irritating to me. It really is. So Dr. Latoya, aka the Mute, she keeps talking about how she doesn't do drama and how she now wants to go on a couples trip with everyone. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Pump the brakes. So you have an issue with Christina because you've clearly picked a side between Colby and Christina, but now you want to do a couples trip. If I were Brandon and Christina, I really would have told them absolutely not. I'm not doing it. I don't care if Carlos says that this is a part of filming and production that you have to go dock my pay because I don't want to be around people that I don't like and people that I feel don't like me. This is stupid to me. Y'all haven't even hashed like y'all haven't even hashing anything out. Now, with Dr. Latoya, I don't even think there's anything for her to hash out with Christina. I just really feel, for me personally, that Dr. Latoya has already picked a side, and the side that she chose was to go with Colby and Russell, and just completely, exile Brandon and Christina. Now, like I've said plenty of times before, with Brandon and Christina, they're not without any blame, right? Going back to everything that's happened over the last 7 episodes, go back to episode 1, which was their anniversary dinner, right? Or picnic. Yes, they did get into it with each other at that anniversary picnic. But the reason that they got into it is because Colby mentioned his new artist that Christina knew nothing about. Then the opulence wine tasting, we're not going to sit here and put this all on Brandon and Christina because Anthony was the person who mentioned the fact that they went out to the club. Christina didn't know that they went out to the club. Then Chelsea, Christina's friend, asked why was Anthony so invested in their relationship, and he went at her, calling her a little girl. And you still have not said anything about that, ma'am. Now I know, like I said, I know people say, well, maybe she's checked him behind closed doors. That's a problem. This was done on camera and he addressed a woman. You should address him on camera and be like, hey, babe, it was wrong that you sat there and said something to Christina's friend. You should have just told her, hey, I don't know you and I'm just not going to get into that with you. This is my friend. I'm looking out for my boy, and left it at that. But no, he didn't. He wanted to be a little girl and get involved, and he wanted to be a little girl and get into it with a woman. And I just didn't like that. So that's really one of my biggest issues with Dr. Latoya. She's a mute. She says nothing to this man on camera. But then when you talk about it on the stuff that's happened, you put it on Brandon and Christina and not squarely on your husband, aka your wife, aka Antonia. Like, I really don't like this. I don't like this show, you guys. When is Love and Marriage DC coming back? That's the main question that I have. When is DC returning? Because at least with DC, I feel like there are people on DC that I can say that I kind of like, but this show right here, there's not one single person that I like. And then, so I guess going forward, the only show that I'm gonna be reviewing after after I wrap up Love and Marriage Huntsville's, you know, this season that we just went on the hiatus for, I guess the only thing I'm gonna be doing is DC until they get on my nerves. which they typically do get on my nerves, but not nearly as bad as this show in Huntsville. Like, what is going on here? Please, someone explain that to me. So the next thing we see is we have a Christina and Brandon. They went on a date. So their marriage advisors told them to spend time with each other. I'm like, wait a minute. So y'all literally need marriage counselor, well, not even counselors, but their marriage advisors or whoever they are. Y'all needed people to literally tell y'all to go on a date with each other. That sounds so stupid to me. I just, it really sounds stupid. And then Christina was talking about the fact that they need to make time for this. I was like, no shit, Sherlock. No shit. Like I could have told you, I could have told you that, and I could have gave you that free advice because it's just it makes no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I was just I was just thrown off by that. Like y'all really needed to go find some marriage advisors, mentors, whatever you call them, to tell y'all to go on a date with each other and reconnect with your husband and your wife. People spend money on things that I don't think make any sense logically sometimes, but hey. So they were sitting down, and Christina was telling Brandon how she's never felt protected by him. So it extends so far even beyond what we see on this show, because she said he didn't defend her when it came to his mother. And I was like, did he not know the saying leave and cleave? Just saying, right? So I guess Brandon is gonna work on defending Christina more. I mean, we saw that in that episode when he called Kobe the Coley cat. That was his way of defending Christina. And I was like, okay. I mean, I guess A for effort. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think. And like I said, I think it's just a little interesting that they went the route that they went with the marriage mentors who gave them this advice that I think a 3-year old could give you. I really do. So yeah, that's that, you guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next scene, you guys. So once again, I'm going to ask the question: what does Anthony do? So we see Anthony. So he went down to his studio to meet up with his boy. Now he called this man Lyric, and I was looking at the way that man's name was spelled. I'm like, are we sure his name is Lyric and not Lyric? I mean, because it looks like Lyric with a Q. I kept looking at that man's name. I'm like, I don't think that that's Lyric. I literally believe that man's name is pronounced Lyric. But you know how we are as black people. Sometimes we like to go fancy with names. So maybe his mama didn't name him Lyric, but ma'am, that spells Lyric. So Anthony is talking about what him and his man do, how they write music together. I was like, again, what does Anthony really do? Because we've gotten so many different things from Anthony. Let's just go back to the first episode, right? He Disney and Marvel, right? Live Nation. Then we got him doing this lookbook. Now he got artists. Then he writes songs. Like, what is his actual job title? Because I mean, you can't be good at everything. I'm just putting that out there, right? But again, Anthony is not my favorite person, and I don't need. I'm being facetious when I say what does he do. I honestly don't care what the man does. He's a professional mester. That's what he is for me personally. So they were talking about the showcase, and I do have an issue with Anthony as in regards to this showcase, because he's coming to this showcase and he's making it all about himself, right? He's doing everything, and I'm like, originally wasn't this Brandon's showcase? So you going and asking people to be involved in the showcase, but this was Brandon's showcase, not yours, because he's asking Lyric or Lyric to come and be, to judge. I was like, shouldn't this be something that Brandon does if Brandon wants this man to be a part of it? Like, whose name is on this showcase is the big question that I have. Whose name is on this showcase? I don't know whose name is on it, but I'm pretty positive it's probably Brandon's, and is being hosted at Brandon's Friends Club, Bravo. So somebody, can y'all answer me this question? Because I know next week is episode 8. So how many episodes are in this season? Is it 10 episodes plus a possible 2-part reunion? like I'm tapping. I'm For me personally, I'm tapping out at episode 7. Uh Also something I want to speak towards real quick. It's very interesting to me, and this is no slight, no shade to anybody, but I've always find it quite fascinating with Carlos King, right? The fact that he has so many critiques for Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Real Housewives of Potomac, right? But this show right here is struggling. They can't even get 200,000 viewers per an episode. I think the week before last, because I've tweeted it, I've actually tweeted it both weeks what the views are for the show. Because I know last week's episode they had 151,000 views, I believe, and I think the week before that they had 172,000 views. They have yet to crack 200,000. I don't even know what Love and Marriage Huntsville or DC do, but I would imagine that both of those shows do significantly better than this one. And like I said earlier, when the season first started, I didn't hate this show. I thought it was going to be something that I might like and be able to get into, right? Because I thought Dr. Latoya was going to be sensible and down to earth. I thought Colby was going to be a cool chick. I thought Christina might be a little bit annoying, but I thought I could deal with Christina, and I can. I can tolerate Christina, but with Dr. Latoya, she's not who I thought she was going to be. And then with Colby, she's just an immature child, in my personal opinion. So yeah, last week's episode, they got 151,000 viewers, and that was less than what they had the week before. So I really would like it if Carlos would just take a, and this is no slight and no shade to him, but I think he should look at his shows and reevaluate and try to figure out what's missing with his shows. And for me personally, I think what's really missing with his shows is the fact that I don't think any of these people are like real friends. Now, yes, they say that Anthony, Brandon knew each other for years, but were they friends or did they know each other through passing? Because that's what I'm starting to feel like, that they were friends through passing. Because how do you come on a reality show if this is your quote unquote real friend and you start having issues with your friends? Like, it just doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that you would have an issue with, you start having issues with your friends once you get on a reality TV show that's kind of fake and phony, to if we're being honest with each other. So also back to the show. So I think there's an issue with Lyric, and Brandon. I didn't understand it, but I could sense what Anthony was doing. He was trying to pick, and he was trying to pick at it like a little sore. Oh, going back to what I was saying a minute ago. The week before episode, 174,000 views. So yeah, with Anthony, he's just a little, he's a pot stirrer, and he's messy, and he really just irks my spirit and my soul, and I just can't stand looking at him and those raccoon eyes of his. Like, ugh. So they talked about Christina and how Christina is the artist that Brandon should have been working with. So oh boy, Lyric played a song that Christina sang on. What I will say is Christina's voice isn't like the best, but it's not the worst. It's not like, it's not bad. It's not bad either. She has a decent voice, but it is what it is. Let me know if you guys listen to it and let me know what you guys think about it. I will say though, oh boy, he knew that song. Like, he knew that song to the T. I was like, that's kind of weird that you still had this song and you know this song. So how long have you been sitting on this song? Is the question that I would ask. But I don't care. I don't care. So next up, you guys, Colby. So we see Colby. So she's hopping in the car with Dr. Latoya, the mute, and they're getting ready to go to this shut up and pray brunch that Christina's having, right? So Colby took it upon herself to, fill Dr. Latoya in about the conversation that she and Christina had, how they apologized to each other. And she also told Dr. Latoya that Christina had apologized on behalf of Brandon, right? But she doesn't, she's not, that's not good enough for her. She wants for Brandon to sit in front of her and her husband and apologize. I was like, what the hell, girl? You are so. childish. Like, it ain't that deep to, like, what the fuck? Did your husband not tell you that he apologized to him? Like, I feel like there's a disconnect when it comes to these husbands and wives. Did your husband not tell you that he had the Bible study with him and he apologized to him? Like, really? Okay. So then Kobe decides to tell Dr. Latoya that, Christina had called Russell and told Russell that not Brandon, but Anthony had talked to the publicist, Brittany, and was saying that, Anthony had said to Brittany that, Kobe and Russell, as well as Brandon and Christina, didn't rock with her, right? So that lit a fuse up under the mute. So she feels like she got to address Christina because Christina is lying. I was like, is she really lying, ma'am? Because your husband did mention the fact that not Kobe, but Christina and Brandon didn't rock with her. Then he came back and cleared it up and said it's just Brandon. So who's really lying? And no one is attacking your husband's character. This show is showing who your husband really is, a messy little bitch. Period, point blank, right? So then, where are we at? Oh, so I want to talk about this real quick because they showed a flashback in this episode about that conversation with Christina and with Brittany. So let's go ahead and get to the brunch. So it's so funny to me, and it's kind of contradictory to me that Dr. Latoya has such an issue with the fact that she felt like Brandon and Christina have ruined events, but here you are at this woman's event, and you're bringing up what she said to what Kobe told you that she said. So you couldn't wait to a more opportune time to have this conversation with her. So it's a little bit hypocritical. So let me point this out because I do see a lot of people saying that Christina did lie. So for me personally, I don't think Christina lied. And I'm gonna tell you guys why I don't think Christina lied. Because if you guys listen to what Christina said in this episode, she is not what is being portrayed. So Christina said that Brittany had called her and texted her. She said Brittany called her and texted her, and she was saying that Brittany was saying that he said that they didn't rock with her. So I'm assuming from what I'm hearing that Brittany didn't specify who they was. So she just assumed that. So Christina may have assumed that they included them and and the Harrises. But when they sat down and had that meeting with each other, that's when I believe Brittany cleared it up and said, no, he didn't mention Kobe and Russell. He only said you and Brandon. So I don't think that she was lying. I think she had that phone conversation with her and the text messages, and she reached out to Russell at that point. And then when she finally sat down with her, she didn't go back and clear it up. Honestly, I don't care if she did or didn't. Dr. Latoya, I will say I do think that you were doing a whole hell of a lot in this scene when it came down to Christina. Girl, it's one thing to say you attacking my husband's character when whatever she was probably saying may have been untrue of your husband's character, but it really isn't. We saw your husband be a messy little biatch. So I don't know how you can sit there and say that with a straight face. Like, I just didn't understand how she could say that with a straight face. Now, what I will say about Christina, it did feel like to me that Christina was being a little condescending to Dr. Latoya, but I was still on Christina's side, and that's very odd for me, and it's a little bothersome for me to be on her side. But yeah, you guys, that was the episode. Nothing really happened. I was annoyed. This show makes no sense to me. The drama is very stupid. But hey, that is a review, and this is actually the last time I'm going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Detroit. So yeah, you guys, don't look for another live for this show next week or going forward. It is a wrap for JB. I am done with this show. I would say that I've enjoyed it, but I have not. I have not enjoyed it, and I don't enjoy it. So if you guys know when Love and Marriage DC is coming back, please let me know when that's coming back. I'll be back for DC, and then we'll come back and finish out the rest of Huntsville, and that'll be that for that as well. But hey, like the video, you guys, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video. And until the next time, please stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later on tonight for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then tomorrow afternoon for the Real Housewives of New York. See you guys then. Bye.